All right, here we go. So, this is the tiny guy. The tiniest little trailer that could. This is going to be my temporary build that I live out of over the next couple of months while I save for land. And then, once I buy some land and put up a little shop, a little shop-a-rooski, where I can have more room to work on these builds, then I will build something larger. But this is pretty badass for its size. And I'm not altering the trailer. The only thing I'm doing is adding on this little box up front for propane and water storage. And everything else is staying the same. I'm not extending or expanding the footprint of the trailer at all. So 6x12 box trailer that I already own, which is nice. And really just need to buy a handful of things. And a lot of the interior is going to be handmade, the counter and the cabinets and stuff like that. I have lumber already, so that's nice. And I put all the dimensions in here this time for you guys, so you can actually see how big everything is. So first of all, going around the outside here, the trailer from the back corner to the nose is almost 12 feet. And then we have our little box add-on in the front, which is another little over 3. And you can see the dimensions. I'm not going to read them all. There's the height of the box and the width of the box. In the back, we have our fold-down gate, about pretty close to 6 foot. The trailer from wall to wall exterior is 6 feet, a little over 6 feet. So I suppose let's first go for the box, and we'll just move it out, say 10 feet. Pretty straightforward. 55-gallon water storage. I'm not doing all the plumbing, but you can imagine there will be PVC going into and out of this. Right here is our little diaphragm pump. Not very big, but it gets the job done. I think it's like 5 gallons per minute or something like that, which is way more than I'll need for a sink and a shower. Hot water heater, propane, just to save power, because electric ones are a lot of power, and I'm going on a minimal setup here. Well, I say minimal. It's still a pretty. I still have like effectively over 10 kilowatts of power that I can draw from. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, to save power, we're going to go with propane on the water heater and propane on the cooking. I'm going to experiment with the electric cooking. We'll see how it goes. If it's using up too much power, then I'll just stick to the propane. But, I got the propane here if I need it. And that's all there is to it up front. Pretty straightforward. Let's put this back 10 feet. And then the panels. So right now I just have 2 layers of panels up here. I will maybe add a third, but I'm not sure that I'll actually need it. These panels are 405 watts a piece, so I have 2 layers of 4 for 8 panels total, which, if you do a little math-a-rooski, 8 times 405, 3200. Let's say times 0.75 with efficiency losses. Should be able to generate 2400 watts pretty solidly. And so they're layered, of course. The front layer will just slide on out. We'll say for now we'll just put it out like 7 feet. And yeah, there we go. And then we have, 2 layers exposed, and the front layer is kind of a shade awning as well, the top layer. Not that I really need it, but anywho. Panels, you can see the dimensions here, 6'4" by 3'5". Let's put that back. And let's get inside. So let me grab the roof. Let me raise the roof rack and both layers of panels. We'll take that up, say 20 feet. All right, now, first thing on the outside here, we have this conduit, which will probably just be PVC that I paint. 2-inch PVC that I have right here, and that's for, the wiring that'll come off of the panels, and it will go down into the wall like so, and it comes through right here and then goes up to my charge controllers. These are 100 amp charge controllers. 3 of them should be plenty. If I only have 2 layers of panels, then I'll only need 2, but I put 3 in here because if I add a third layer of panels, then I'll have each layer will go to a separate charge controller, basically. A little overkill, but these things are pretty cheap and keeps things running nice and cool, not overworking any of the components in the system. So anywho, there's that, and then so they'll come in through the wall, go up into the charge controllers, into the solar leads, and then the battery leads here will go back down through here into my closet that I have right here. It'll go in and down, and then underneath the couch bed over here is where we have sorry, a little fruit fly in here. All of the batteries and the inverters are all under there. So there is that. So yeah, and then out from there I'll send the power cords wherever they need to go, over here for the air conditioner and the 2 mini fridges, stove hood, and everything that needs to be plugged in. So that's the electrical. Comes straight down through there, comes in through the wall, into the controllers, back out and down into the batteries, and then out from the batteries into the inverters, and then from there I can plug in whatever I need to plug in. Yep, on this wall we have some cabinets up top, and of course the couch bed. This will just slide out, the bottom part will slide out, and then this top mattress will lay down and make it nice and wide for me. The bed is 6'2", and I'm 6'2", so that works out pretty nicely. The cabinets are 5'2" right there. This 6'4" and 3'5", these are from the panels. I don't know why that's supposed to go up whenever I put the panels up, but anyways, ignore those. On this wall over here, of course, we have our kitchen counter and sink, total length of 5'10". Plenty enough room under there for 2 little fridges, AC, and I don't know, maybe I'll put some shelves here or something. For now, I'm just leaving it open. Got some more cabinets up top over here, and a stove hood there. I will have well, like I said, I'm going to have a propane stove that I'll run a propane line from there over to the counter. And then I'm also going to experiment with the electric cooking if I can get away with it and not use up too much power. So either way, whether I'm using propane or electric, it'll just be a little 2-burner stove that'll sit right here on the counter. And when I'm not using it, it'll just go up here in the cabinet. And then over here for plates and cups and whatnot. Pretty straightforward. Moving on. On this wall over here, we have the work area, office, whatever you want to call it, /TV. And so my PC is here. All of my, HDMI and, HDMI cables will run over to the monitors and to the TV. Don't have enough room for all 4 of my monitors, unfortunately, but with 2 monitors and a TV all plugged into my PC, that'll be pretty, definitely good enough. Definitely good enough to get some work done, watch some TV, that kind of stuff. And of course, the TV is on that wall because whenever I'm laying in bed over here, I want to be able to watch TV. So pretty nice. And you can see the dimensions here, how tall everything is, how wide this desk is, 4'3". And yeah, I didn't put my little computer chair. I'm going to put my computer chair in here, but I didn't feel like making that. And as I mentioned before, here's our little closet. So I have cabinets up here where I'll have, socks, underwear, shorts, shirts, everything that doesn't need to be hung up. And then in this closet, in the top cabinet will be, a little rod where I can hang a couple pairs of, polos or dress shirts and slacks. And then down below we'll have storage for shoes, my boots, tennis shoes, dress shoes, all that stuff will be in there. And yeah, I already showed you all of the electrical stuff underneath there, and that is really all there is to the main area here. And if we step over this way, we have a doorway and a step. That steps up into the bathroom. And for a toilet, I already have this camper toilet, so I'm just going to use that for now. Plenty enough for me, and I don't want to obviously trying to fit a full-size residential toilet in here would be overkill. It would be difficult, so I'm not going to try to do that, and it would use up a lot of water. So anyways, and then of course most of this area is tiled. The height in here, I did not put that dimension. I think it's like 4'4" from the floor up to the ceiling here. So you're not standing up in here, but that's another reason for the little camper toilet. I can use that as a stool or a seat or whatever, and I can sit on that and take a shower. So it'll be a sitting shower, but it's a shower nonetheless. And I already have all that tile, so I don't have to pay for that. And yeah, all of the lumber, all of the tile. I'm going to make the cabinets out of the wood that I have, the wood for the bed and the desk, kitchen counter, as I mentioned, these cabinets, all of this stuff I'm going to make by hand. So, and I already have all the lumber for it, so really nothing to buy in here except another mini fridge. I have one, I'll buy another one. And then I already have the sink. I have to get a stove hood. So a mini fridge, a stove hood, and then basically this is going to be like a full-size 8-inch memory foam mattress, and I'm just going to cut it right down the middle into 2 pieces. And then so that way whenever I slide the bed out, it'll be a full-size memory foam mattress bed. So I might have to buy that. Might be able to find one for free on Marketplace, or very cheap, and plenty of mini fridges on Marketplace, pretty cheap. And I haven't checked for stove hoods yet, but who knows, we'll see. If not, they're cheap on Walmart or Amazon or whatever. So a couple of cheap things to buy: mini fridge, stove hood, potentially a memory foam mattress. Might get it free though, who knows. Oh, and I guess I didn't mention it, but it's pretty obvious that it's right here. My PC is on this shelf. I was going to set it over here on the wall on this desk, but it like blocks the TV and the monitors, so it would be, a pain in the ass while I'm working, and it would also be a pain in the ass while I'm laying in bed trying to watch TV. It still is kind of blocking a little bit on the TV from this angle if you're like laying in bed, but when this slides out, I'll be closer to the center. And the TV, the wall mount that I have for the TV, like pivots and swivels and I don't know all the terms, but basically it moves over quite a bit. So it looks like it's blocking, but the TV will actually move to the right quite a bit. So it'll be plenty out of the way of the PC whenever I'm laying in bed here trying to watch TV. And yep, so right, I already have a shower head, and I already have the toilet, and I already have the tile, and I already have the lumber, and TV and monitors. I already have all of that stuff. So really, like I said, I just have to get another mini fridge and stove hood and potentially a mattress if I can't find one for free. And the drum in here, the water drum, there's actually another one. Again, we'll just send that out 10 feet. I do need to get the diaphragm pump and the hot water heater. This I found on Walmart for like $85. So you can find these propane water heaters pretty cheap. Electric ones are a little, actually they're roughly the same cost. Anyways, and then obviously a propane tank. There's plenty of drums, 55-gallon drums for like $20. There's like several suppliers around me in Pensacola that have tons of them, and they're, clean food grade, so it'll be safe for water. And propane, obviously cheap. And diaphragm pump, I think I found that for like $45. So like, $85 for that, $45 for that, $50 for the propane tank, $20 for that, maybe $50 for a mini fridge, maybe $50 for a memory foam mattress, and maybe, I don't know, $30 or $50 for a stove hood. So, a handful of small costs, and I will be set. I already have a lot of the batteries. I'm going to get a few more batteries, and I already have one of these charge controllers. I'm going to get at least one more, if not two more, but they're like $35 a piece. So everything that I need is pretty inexpensive. And yeah, so the goal is over the next 2 to 3 weeks to get this build done and get moved in. Stop paying rent, stop paying bills, and save for land ASAP. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the tiny build. Let's pull this back down. What do we say, 20 feet or so? And I'm pretty happy with it. Oh, panels. I got to get the panels too, but they're pretty cheap as well. I found a good supplier locally for, these are 405 watt panels, as I mentioned before, and they are $100 a piece. So yeah, based on the square footage I had here, sorry, I don't know what that noise is. I don't know if you can hear that, but something out there. 405 watts. It maximizes the square footage that I have up top. So a little bit of overhang on the sides, not too bad. The 520s would have been a little too big, and then there's some other ones that are a little smaller, but for the price and for the size, you really can't beat these. So that is all there is to it. This is what we're going to get started on building right away. I get paid on Friday, the 27th, and then every subsequent Friday following that. And so I will be buying panels and batteries and all these little odds and ends that I mentioned that I will need: propane tank, diaphragm pump, water heater, that kind of stuff. And I don't have a strict timeline planned out, but roughly 3 to maybe 4 weeks from now, I think we should have it done and be moved in. Of course, I will record everything as I'm going, and I will post unedited videos for a while, and then once I get everything done and get moved in and get settled down, then I will spend some time doing some editing and make some hyperlapses, so that way you guys don't have to watch through a whole bunch of footage. And I will keep you guys posted on all of that on the Patreon and the Discord, and let you know when that stuff's ready. So stay tuned and peace out.